Hello there, welcome back to Planet Zoo and welcome back to Opal Zoo. Thanks very much for joining me today. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Do you remember the last episode? We were working in our South America area of our zoo here. So Opal Zoo is our heavily themed zoo, if you're joining us late. So we have our Australia area over here. With kangaroos and dingoes and koala bears, and then we are working on our South America area over here. So it's very jungly, very overgrown. We have jaguars, we have tapir, we have caiman, and we have anteaters. So in the last couple of episodes I've been working on these habitats, and that's all come along really nicely. Very happy with that. And so in this final episode for the South America area, I'll be doing the backstage areas. So that includes this main walkway here, which I've got quite a grand plan for, and the area over here. So I've already started, so let me show you what I've been doing over here. So in this corner here we had a staff room and a keeper hut. And so I've just done some pretty simple decorating here. So again, I've gone with this bamboo look. I thought it's what I did with the other backstage building over the other side, and I liked it, so I've gone with the same again. Again, foliage sunk the trees into the roof. Again, it looks a bit silly inside, although I kind of like it actually. It looks like it's got the foliage all coming in through the roof there, so it doesn't look too bad, does it? I mean, this one looks a little bit silly because you've got a tree growing in the middle of the floor, but you know, this one actually isn't too much in this one, so it's all right. But I don't really care what it looks like on the inside. It's what it looks like on the outside that matters. So this was a very simple building. I put a little flower pot out the front here. Very simple. Just found various little pieces. I quite liked this fence, so I just used that along the front. And that was because there was because of the pathway. You end up with a small bit of path kind of sticking out here between the two doors. So I wanted to cover that up, so I just built a small flower bed into there and put a window in as well. So yeah, very simple, but you know, it does what it needs to. And continued the foliage, so this nice dense foliage all the way around the back here as well, and that will continue alongside this pathway all the way out until it meets the main pathway here. So yeah, so there's a fair bit to do. Obviously there's that, but this main pathway is going to be my main thing in this episode. I've got a big idea of what I want to do, and it's hopefully going to end up looking really cool, but we shall see. So yeah, so let me go away and crack on with some more, and I will come back when I've got something good to show you. Right, so this is my idea for this back main walkway here. I wanted some kind of a canopy over it, so this is what I've designed. So it's a simple structure, just some bamboos put into a grid, obviously with legs, little cross beams as well, and then just a load of you've got some roots coming up the side here and various vines hanging down around it as well. Some of this scaviola bush on the top. And then all I'm doing is just rotating it around and copying it along the path. So the idea is this is going to go, it's going to come down here as well, right up to here I think, and then it's going to go all the way along here. And I think it will look really nice, especially once I've built up foliage around the back here. This is going to be very dense, like I've done around the back of this bit over here. I'm going to do something similar all the way along this edge here. So I think it'll end up looking really nice. We shall see. Yeah, I think if you're standing in here, I think it looks cool, doesn't it? I think it feels quite jungly with all these vines hanging down. You know, you're going to have all your habitats off to this side, and then this side will be thick, so you won't be able to see anything on this side, so it'll make you feel really like you're walking through the jungle. But you won't get the full effect of that until I've finished the building, of course. And obviously you've got an entrance here that will lead down into the aquatic area here, and then the entrance obviously at each end. You've got this one that will lead into this area here, which may or may not be Africa. I'm actually having a few doubts about that, but I will explain that as and when I get to to working on it. Yeah, so there we go. Right, so I'm going to continue working on this this canopy, and I'll be right back once it's a bit more filled in. I've extended the walkway. I think it looks really nice actually. So obviously this bit was sloped, so it's had to be sort of tiered as it comes down here. But now you can walk all the way through it, and you really feel undercover here. You really feel jungly. And it extends all the way along here. Bits and pieces here I've had to just fiddle it a little bit so that the legs are in the right place. Actually, I don't think that one was too bad. No, in fact this one, yeah, I wasn't too sure what to do here, whether I should remove this or not, but actually because it's a wide walkway and this is only a narrow pole, I left it in. I wasn't too sure how I would manipulate it to accommodate the pathways coming in and out, but actually this one here worked out nicely as well. And then it continues all the way along. So you have your entrance here that leads into your jungle walk, so I'll put these signs in here as well for the jungle walk, and then it continues on and around the corner and down the slope, and that will lead into the next area there. And obviously this is a staff only path coming through here. So I think if you look at it from above, I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I mean it's quite a large structure in the end when you actually look at it. Obviously it's lots of different structures, but it ends up all moulding into one long thing. And yeah, I think it looks good. I think it will look better once I've built up the foliage behind it. But I'm very happy actually with how that's turned out, because I didn't want to leave that just as a bare walkway. It was too plain. It just stood out too much, and it didn't feel overgrown enough, you know. It didn't feel jungly enough like the rest. I am going to leave this walkway because the whole point of this walkway is that the dense foliage is underneath you and you are walking above the animals. That's the whole point of this walkway. So there won't be any canopies on this walkway. That wasn't the intention at all. But this one here, I really wanted it to be undercover, so it is. There we go. So that's that done. So I've still got obviously around the outside here to do. I've still got a bit of work at this end as well, because you've got this pathway that comes down here, so this needs a nice edge put on as well. Still some details with regards to benches and things like that, and then I do want to get some media around, so some animal boards, you know, the video boards and things, actually telling the public about each animal. So that's what's left to do. Not sure what I'm going to do next, but one of those things that I've just mentioned will get done next. So let me disappear again and I will be right back. Foliage next. So as you can see, I have done the foliage along this back edge here. So now when you are walking along this path as a member of staff, you are completely surrounded by jungle. Look at it, it's lovely, isn't it? And you come down here, as this little dude is here. You knock your head off on this, but I love that. I love it. Look at that, just walk straight through it, brilliant. But it's fantastic. This is exactly the feel that I wanted. Even though the public don't come down here, the staff come down here, and yeah, I mean you'd want to work here, wouldn't you? Love it, love it, love it, love it. Brilliant. Right, and obviously what I've also done is the foliage along the back of our main pathway here. So this was done, basically I created this blueprint, and I just copied and pasted and turned it and sunk it into the ground and twisted it, and eventually you end up with it just looking like a nice dense bit of foliage all the way around the back, and eventually joining back up to this backstage building over here. I've also done the entrances, so I've copied the entrance that I did back at the start into this entranceway here, and also there and there. So basically, no matter how you approach this area now, you get introduced to South America. So this is what it feels like now as you walk along this pathway. You can see off to the left there, you cannot see a thing. You look to the right and you're going to see your animals. Look to the left and you are just surrounded by jungle, and look at it, it's absolutely glorious, isn't it? Just thick, dense leaves, you get the odd flower, Oh, I mean, it's overgrown. It's coming through. It really, I just love it. I love it. Oh, this game makes me so happy sometimes. When these things work, you know, they really work. And obviously then you've got your little entrances down into your next areas as well. But yeah, I love the feel of it. I love how jungly it feels and how overgrown it feels. You know, it's mysterious. As you're coming up here, you really do feel like you're about to walk into a jungle. You know, you come up and all you can see is just vines and leaves and moss everywhere you look. So that's exactly the feel that I was going for. So there we go. That is that done. I'm very, very happy with it. So now just some fine details basically now with benches and media devices and stuff like that. But I think you'll agree that this area is looking good. I'm really pleased with it. It's turned out much better than I hoped, to be honest. I wasn't too sure whether it would work having all this foliage just sort of repeated over and over and over again, and I wasn't too sure about having it so thick all around the outside, whether it would just look a bit, I don't know, a bit over the top, I guess. But actually, no, I think it looks great because the foliage in the middle isn't as thick as it is around the outside. I think it does look really nice, actually. So yeah, very happy with that. So let me just go away again and just crack on with some of those finer details. Is finished, I'm very pleased to say, and I'm so happy with it. So I've just added some minor details. So let's go along our jungle walk, shall we, and see what I've added in. As you can see, there are benches and there are bins. I love these South America benches. Look at that. I'd want to eat my lunch sitting on that. Look at that, it's got an anteater on the back. It's fantastic, and these bins look cool as well. So yeah, so those are dotted around. And the other thing I've done is these media boards. Really simple. I just used these mossy rocks stood up in the ground, and I've slapped a media photo thing on there. It's really simple, but it's exactly what you get in this sort of zoo. You just, you know, really simple and effective. Just gives you a little bit of information about the appropriate animal. So we've got one there for the tapir, and we can come around the corner and we have one here. Oh look, it's the tapir again. You know, I've doubled up because people will be approaching the habitat from different areas, from different sides. So there's no harm in having multiple information boards up. We have one here for the caiman. Yeah, and we'll come around the side. I just love the feel of this. We have another one here for the caiman as well. So as you're standing here and you can see the caiman all swimming below you, although at the moment they're not. You can stand here and read about them. Where are they? Maybe they're lounging on their sun loungers. No, not that one. Not that one. Oh look, here comes one. He's gonna, oh look, there's a couple coming up here. They're gonna have a little lie down on their straw. And relax. Kaplonk. That's it. He's not moving now, is he? He's happy. Oh, put his head down. He's going to fall asleep. Oh, he's got his friend walking through him. A little bit rude. Never mind. Where are you going to settle down? I feel a screenshot coming on. Oh, you couldn't sit in the sun, could you? Let's have a look. Let's see if I can get a decent screenshot. It's a little bit tricky. No, I'm not sure it's going to look good. No, you're not in the right spot. Sorry, guys. No screenshot for you today. Okay, where are we? So around here we have the anteaters as well. I think this is one for the anteaters. Unless, actually no, I think I put one out on. Yes, I put one out here as well. Excuse me, on this main pathway as well. So as you're approaching from this end, you come along here. So before you can even see what's in the habitat, you get a board here that basically tells you you're about to see some anteaters, and then you just pop along here and you look in and you can just about see an anteater swimming over there. Yeah. And what else? I think I put one or two along the front here as well. So we've got one here for the jaguars. And I think I put another jaguar one at the far end over here. Yes, I did. There we go. So there we go. That is it. Benches as well. Sorry, along this main walkway again. Just benches and bins. Same theme again all the way along here. So that is that. We are done with our South America zone. And I have to say, I know I will probably say this after every zone I do, but I think this is my favourite zone so far in the zoo. I do like, obviously I love my Australia zone. I think it turned out really nice. But I'm, as a gardener, I love this foliage. So for me, this wins. This is the best bit so far. I'm very happy with this walkway around the back. I think that turned out really nice as well. It just hides the pathway nicely. I didn't want it to show as much as it was. So yes, so very, very happy. And as you get down low, I mean, it's just jungle, isn't it? It's just thick jungle, which is exactly the look that I was going for. As you walk under the sign here, you're just surrounded by all these huge leaves, and in the distance you could just see these big jungle plants, and then you get the top of the waterfall over in the distance there, and that would just make you think, oh, I just want to go in there and see what I can find. And then you got your little jungle walk pathway in here, and what can you see? Hey, there's a tapir, great. And over this side, if you're lucky, you might see a jaguar in the distance. Of course you might not. You can see a zookeeper possibly being eaten by a jaguar, but there's no jaguars at the moment. But you can see the mist. You see, it would entice you in. And if you could fly, you could do what I just did. You could come in here and go, right, jaguars, where are you? There you go. There's your jaguar having a swim. I bet you there's someone in the cave having a snooze as well. There's always one or two in here. Yeah, well, look at that. We got our little black jaguar in here having a snooze. Oh, and a yawn. Doesn't he look cute? I think it's a he. It is a he. It's Callie. Okay, nice name. Oh, he's gone legging it. Time for a swim. Probably ought to get his lunch. Anyway, sorry, I'm jabbering. Please forgive me. Right, so there we go. So that is our South America area. So our zoo is now taking shape, isn't it? We have our Australia area and we have our South America area. And I have to say, so far, I'm very pleased with what I've come up with. The next area I can tell you that I'll be working on will be this one here, the aquatic area. I've got an idea of what I want to do in there. So the aquatic zone is going to include, where's our list? Giant otters, grey seals, hippos, pygmy hippos, and king penguins. And I do have an idea. It's going to be a bit tricky to get it all working, but I'm pretty confident I can do it. I will tell you one other thing that I have decided, and that is that this Africa area and this Arctic area are going to swap around. Now there's two reasons for that. One is that the Africa area here is going to be very similar to the Australia area in by what I mean the look of it. It's very deserty, and so I didn't want the two desert areas next to each other. To me, that aesthetically that's not going to work for me. Whereas the Arctic is obviously going to be very snowy, and so that makes sense to have a snowy zone in here, and then the Africa area over here. Now the other reason I've swapped it is because, as you can see, this Africa area is very big, and this Arctic area is much smaller. And if you actually look at the animals, my Africa animals, you've got aardvarks, penguins, tortoises, fennec foxes and meerkats. They're all very small animals. They don't need a large amount of space. So there's no reason why I would give this much space to my Africa zone. Now I will probably, even over in this Arctic zone, with those animals, I still don't need all this space. So what I will probably do when I get to it is I will have an extra enclosure in here somewhere with some of the larger Africa animals. So maybe some elephants and zebras and giraffe, that sort of thing. I'm not entirely sure, but I will probably do that because most of these animals will only have very small enclosures, and in fact I've got a bit of an idea of a couple of these animals that will share enclosures. Not sure which way round I'm going to do that yet, but I do think some of these will end up with two animals in each enclosure, whereas the Arctic animals, you've got wolves, bears, reindeers, leopards, and then more wolves. They're all quite large animals, particularly the polar bears. They need a lot of space, and so it makes a lot more sense to have them over here in this large area. And I haven't really planned out this one yet, but I've got a few ideas of roughly how I want it to work. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, so that's something I'll be doing in the future. But like I say, the next area I'm going to do is this aquatic zone, and I've got a big plan for this. It's either going to look fantastic or it's going to fall apart and look terrible, and I'll have to restart the whole thing over again. But we shall see. That is half the fun of playing this game, isn't it? But for now, let's leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me and watching as I've developed this zoo so far. I do hope you're enjoying it. Please do let me know in the comments if you've got any ideas or suggestions. But thank you for spending a bit of time with me. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you fit and well in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourselves and bye for now.